Everyone knows that feeling, wanting to experience more stories, but struggling to find the time. That's where Audible changes everything. With over 1 million audiobooks and Audible originals, there's a story waiting to spark anyone's imagination. Take The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, the gripping psychological thriller that's keeping listeners on the edge of their seats. Imagine unraveling its mysteries during your morning commute, or losing yourself in its twists and turns while doing household chores. That's the magic of Audible. It transforms daily routines into opportunities for thrilling discoveries. The best part? Members get access to thousands of included titles, with new content added regularly. From bestsellers to hidden gems, every genre imaginable is at their fingertips. And with one easy-to-use app, switching between favorites or discovering new passions has never been simpler. There's more to imagine when you listen. Start a free 30-day Audible trial and get your first audiobook free at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
Don't ask me to talk. Hey, everybody. We are back. It's another week. It's another episode of Don't Ask Me to Talk with your co-host, Stacy Heller, and of course,
me, Eric Ryder.
Hey, you.
Hello. Welcome to all our listeners. We're back with a bigger, better. I ran out of B adjectives.
I'll go back to
thanks
A.
to describe.
Another.
Yes.
Another episode of Don't Ask Me to Talk.
That's right.
I mean, all I'm going to say is that if you need a break from the hellscape that is the world news, then this is your time.
That's right. We're here for you.
Exactly.
For an hour each week.
And you know what? Here's the deal. You could actually listen to more by going back and listening to past episodes of the show.
Of course, yeah.
So
always a good idea.
It's a podcast too. So if you're like, what the heck? You could probably listen to like this week last year or the year before. I don't know how long we've been doing this because this is also your weekly episode of Watch Stacy with ADHD completely lose track.
Just the fact that you're here today, I think, is shows some discipline and strength because you just got back from a nice little vacation down in Mexico.
I did see es verdad.
Yes, and you look like you got some sun.
Burn. Yes, I did. It's amazing the temperature swing going from Mexico coming home to Seattle.
Yeah,
it is,
and we've been having a cold snap here, so it's a little colder than usual even.
Yeah. So like, you know.
It's got to be like 50 degrees difference.
Well, actually, here's what a difference the sun makes.
Yeah.
So it was probably in the 70s. However, with like the sun and the fact that there was no clouds and the whole like it is versus it feels like, it felt like it was in the 80s, but it was in the 70s.
Yeah, it's that spicy Mexican weather.
And the food. So we had a great time. Let me just give you the recap. In a way, I had more fun. This is terrible to say, but I almost had more fun than when we went to Tahiti. Because with Tahiti, there's this big buildup. So vacations like that remind me of Valentine's Day, which is this week, or New Year's Eve. Those holidays that like there's a big buildup and expectation around it, and it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Ugh. So like Tahiti was amazing. It was beautiful. It was like scenic and gorgeous and wonderful. It was also on a cruise with a bunch of other people that I saw for 7 days straight. A couple days, you know, on Moorea with just the two of us. Well, I mean, other people, but Pete and I. But we had, you know, excursions that we went on, and it's time to get involved and whatever. This was like, get up in the morning, watch the sunrise, head out, go to the pool. We went with another couple, Steve and Megan, who conveniently are morning people, so they'd put out the towels and our little floaties and made it really easy to save chairs. Happy hour hit at 11 o'clock. The happy hour there isn't half off, it's just double the drinks. So I had fruity drinks, which felt like I was having a fruit smoothie. It eased me into heading down to tacos on the beach. I could watch all of the folks that were like busking and selling stuff on the beach. I did decline a photo op with an iguana wearing a small sombrero. That just felt like a waste of time, but I did get a silver necklace, and a silver bracelet, and a really cute woven plastic handbag.
And of course, a velvet Elvis painting.
I did not get the Velvet Elvis painting, nor did I get the.
Are those still on offer down there, by the way?
No, they're not.
Okay.
The latest rage is these headbands that say things that I can't even say part of on this show. Like, the things that they said were shocking. And I'm not even sure that the people that were selling them really knew, because they're in English.
Okay. Oh, okay. I was wondering if they were in
said.
Spanish and you were translating from your high school knowledge.
No, they were in English. And it was like,
That's really filthy about the bibliothèque.
right, exactly. Donde está el biblioteca? Or la biblioteca. I don't know if, la biblioteca. Anyway, so that was like super fun. And then in the afternoon, it was like, oops, it's happy hour again.
That totally reminds me of a tangent.
Yes, which we love on
we
this
love
show.
a good tangent.
Tell me.
But my stepmother was Korean.
Okay.
I say was because she passed about a year ago.
So it's not like she stopped being Korean.
No. But while she was with us, she was Korean. And so I had relatives that were Korean, my step relatives. They spent time going between Korea and the U.S.
Sure.
Right. And with the translation thing,
I almost did a spit take because I just know that this is going to be bad.
My step nephew got a T-shirt that said,
"Oh no!"
You remember Nike's famous slogan, right? Just do it.
Yes.
The Korean knockoff version that he had at, I want to say 8 years old, was just do me. And none of my Korean relatives understood why this was maybe inappropriate for an 8-year-old to be wearing around.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's basically like they had also T-shirts that said like John Deere, but it said Juan Deere, and there was like a donkey.
Okay.
And
I like that.
Then they had like Budweiser and things like that.
Budweiser.
And with like, the Budweiser logo and those kinds of things. So there was some really funny T-shirts, but these headbands, like a la like Survivor or whatever, like they were filthy. And so, every day we enjoyed watching the haggling that happened. And, like the necklace, it was like, Steve, who we went with, he speaks pretty fluently Spanish. And so, he'd be like, all right, so you want a necklace. Like, how much do you want to spend on a necklace? And I'm like, not really more than $20. And he's like, all right, here we go. And so we'd call the person over. They'd show us their goods and wares in their suitcase that they put out on the luggage like holder. And then they're like, but wait, there's more. And, the guy starts at 40. And then you play the game of like, you're like, nah, it's all right. Somebody else will come along. And then he makes this big, long process of like, I'm going to put it away. You're going to regret this. Like, I'm leaving. I'm really leaving now. And then he's like, all right, fine. So that was fun. But the thing that was the most out of my comfort zone, and weirdly in my comfort zone, was the oceanside massages that happened. Now, where we stayed, it was this nice, it could be an all-inclusive. We didn't do all-inclusive, but like hotel. The pool was up higher, and then you could go down to the beach area where there's all the restaurants right on the beach. Then there's these like massage places that are like above bars, and they're, open pretty much on all the sides. And it's a bunch of massage tables that are just lying there. And you walk up and they hand you a basket, and there's a, oft-washed beach towel in there.
Now,
and
I don't think we actually mentioned where you went. Cabo St. Lucas, is that correct?
Cabo San Lucas.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you go in the bathroom, you get down to nothing, you put on this beach towel, which I'm a larger woman. I was like, do you have a logo? And you head out clutching, if you're modest like me, your towel around your no-no square. And you get on this table lying next to 30 of your best friends that you've never met before. And so you lie down on the table, face down, and so
I can't help but think this is a missed opportunity because they're on the beach. They're right next to the ocean. They could be hiring octopuses to do this massage.
There is the four.
Because imagine the 8-arm.
Right? There is a 4-armed massage that
and
you
that
could
suction
get.
treatment that they do. Yeah, the cupping.
Right?
Very popular.
I mean, you're right. They should offer something like that. But it was just like you walk in and you're like, go. Oh, that's a lot of, okay. Just saw that like side of that person. And you're not seeing anything explicitly, but it's like we're so sensitized as especially Americans to be like, that's the side of someone. I think I saw a little side boob or like, whatever it is. And so the first time that I got it done, I was sort of like, okay, gotta get over yourself. This is fine. Like, I feel it a breeze. Whoa, they're down by my butt. Like, it's just like, it's all hanging out and it's a lot. Then they have you turn over, which I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it's my size, my age, or my head games, but like turning over and being at all modest while you're turning over on a table with no room, that's not easy. And then you're lying there and you're like, oh, hey, hello. And, so it was a whole thing. But then by the third massage that I got this past week, I seem to get very comfortable with it. And I'm like, whatever. And our friend Steve was on a table that was in front of ours. And as I'm sitting up trying to put myself together, he's walking by and I'm like, oh, he's never going to not see that again. Like, this is horrible. He's like, I didn't see anything. I was averting. I'm like, you're ever the gentleman. It was a lot. And then the sounds of the waves on the ocean, like, that's lovely. Mm-hmm. But then next door you hear like, shot, 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 shot. And then
what are you right outside Senior Frogs?
Yes, pretty much. We're outside this place called Mango and another like down the way from the office and all these places. And then you're hearing the thumping music. Then, because we would go around 4:00 each day, we hear the guitarist who's warming up. And then you hear the blender going. It was an exercise in how much can you just let this go? In the end, I was able to let it all go.
Let it all hang out.
It all hung out. So that was...
it sounds very relaxing, though.
It was very relaxing. And then we crash landed back into the Seattle area and the temperature swing was crazy. So at the end of the day, the moral of the story is it's very relaxing. And also, if you want to have one of those massages, be prepared to be undressed and okay with it.
All right. I'll keep that in mind. I've still never been to Mexico. So one of these days I might check it out.
Honestly, for like some sun and fun, it's great. If you want anything more heady than that, wrong place. So, did you miss me? How was your week?
Oh, it was a good week. Pretty chill here.
How's the oatmeal eating going?
Well, we could touch on that when we get to today's topic, I think, which is old people habits.
I don't know what you mean.
Because that's really an old people habit, I think, as I talked about briefly on the previous episode. I've gotten into the habit of having steel-cut oatmeal for breakfast now. I make a big batch on the weekend, and then it lasts for the week. And, yeah, it's been a good start to the day. But there was a mishap.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to look forward to. All right. Don't tell me no more. Save it.
There was a mishap. So, yeah, I'll talk about that when we get to today's topic, which is, of course, coming up in the last segment of the show.
Mm-hmm. Old people habits.
That's right. Yeah. And then we'll figure out what we're talking about next week on the show, thanks to the magical wheel, O-Topics.
It is riveting stuff that happens here. So did anything else happen this week while I was gone?
Mostly because it's been cold, like real cold. I've been spending all the time indoors, So I've been trying to, again, catch up on my cultural blind spots.
Okay.
Which is checking out like old movies basically that I hadn't been, I had avoided up till now, even though everybody's like, anytime you mention them, like, what? You've never seen such and such?
As evidenced by like every episode of this show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I recently sat down and watched Apollo 13.
What? You hadn't seen that?
See?
Oh my gosh.
This is why.
It's so good. It's, like it ushered in a whole, it was a big step for movies because like suddenly we were exploring unknown worlds in the movie industry.
Yeah. Well, I knew the story of Apollo 13. So I didn't think like, oh, I need to see a dramatic recreation of it.
Ugh.
But I actually
you were wrong.
Sat down and you know what? A lot of times with these things where I go, I've never seen this. Now that everything is available on streaming and I'm paying for, these streaming apps, I might as well take advantage and see these things. And then I go, if it was, and like Alien and Jurassic Park, stuff like that. But those are things that people are going.
That's like people,
how could what?
Right,
what?
people
You've never
are listening
seen
right now and going, "You've never seen Jurassic Park?"
Exactly.
Nope, not 1, 2, 7, however many there are. Nope.
So I watched that within the last year or so, and I gotta say, pretty good.
Which one, Jurassic or Apollo?
No, Jurassic Park.
Okay.
And Alien. Pretty good. But I didn't go, boy, I really regret not seeing this before. Apollo 13, I watched that. I enjoyed that. I thought it was really well done. And I actually thought to myself, boy, I should have watched this sooner. But, when it came out in the 90s and 95, I guess I was a little more, maybe a little artsy, maybe slightly pretentious at that point. And like the big blockbuster movies just didn't really do it for me. Or maybe I was
this
just...
wasn't Armageddon.
Yeah, but still.
I mean, that was like a real popcorn.
Yeah,
movie.
exactly. Yeah, but I was just like, Tom Hanks, who cares?
Well, all right, that's fair.
But watching it now, I was just like, damn, this is really well made. This is a brilliant movie. And it's one of those ones where it's a historical, based on a true story thing, where they actually really stuck closely to the facts.
Yeah.
The changes they made were only just to make the dialogue just a little more engaging for people, because I did some research on this because I was fascinated after watching the movie. The things that they changed was just because the actual astronauts and everybody at NASA were super calm because they've been training for every single eventuality.
Yep.
Yeah. So they, if you listen to the actual recordings of the chat between Houston and Apollo 13, they're all just super chill. Okay, yeah, what we're going to need to do here is,
you're going to have to not talk to us for a minute and fling yourself
That's
around.
Right. Houston, we've had a problem. That sort of thing. It's just like so, like, whereas the rest of us would be like losing our minds, So just for a little bit of dramatic license, they increased the tension just in the way that they were speaking, essentially.
Yep. The intonation.
Which I think is totally fair. If you're making a 2-hour movie, you don't want it to be monotone.
And the cast
guys, we're just going to keep our cool while we're about to die. Yeah.
The cast was actually really top shelf.
You got Bill Paxton. You got Gary Sinise. You got Tom Hanks.
Cutie Patootie, Ed Harris.
Yeah. Ed Harris. You're the first person to ever, I think.
Hear me out.
But yeah, he's rocking a flat top in this. And what, Kevin Bacon? I don't think I mentioned him.
Yep.
So it's quite a cast. And I'm probably forgetting a whole bunch of people, but it had like the top actors of the day doing some of their finest work. So yeah, I highly recommend. If you haven't seen Apollo 13, you may be skeptical, But I thought it was really enjoyable. So 1 thumb up from me. And you still remember it as being good. So 2 thumbs up
Two
for
thumbs
the show,
up.
I guess.
Yeah, it was really, and I saw it in the theater. And it was like to see it in the theater and like on the big, you're like, whoa.
One thing that I thought was really great was that the special effects seemed like they were all practical.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was some minor tweaking with CGI and stuff, but the CGI is super minimal in this, which, considering 1995, that was a really smart choice.
Yeah, oh my gosh. 30 years ago? That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's a good thing we're talking about old people habits because I'm feeling really old at the moment.
You know what made me feel old is that watching it, I realized, the events took place in 1970. The movie is out in 1995. So that would be like me watching a movie now that was set in 2000.
That's horrible.
And thinking of a historical drama from the year 2000.
Oh my gosh.
We're just like...
That's crazy. That event happened 25 years before the movie.
Yeah.
And the movie is 30 years past.
Yes.
Like, that's crazy.
Yep.
Wow. Ah, thanks for bringing me down. Oh my golly. Oh. All right. Well, that's not fun. And did you finish watching your James Bond? You were in the middle of that one.
Oh, yeah. We could talk about this in the next segment because we do need to take a break here. But yeah, I did watch another James Bond movie too. And it was pretty fun. But
all right. Well, let's take a break. And hey, we're going to talk more, so you should keep listening. You're listening to Don't Ask Me to Talk with Stacy and Eric. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. This is Eric Ryder reminding you to follow us on Facebook. We're at Don't Ask Me to Talk, and we're on Instagram, again, at Don't Ask Me to Talk. We'd love to hear from you, so check us out on social media and leave us a comment. Leave us a like. Remember, you can always email us directly at asking@don'taskmetotalk.com or leave us a voicemail or text at 475-999-2726. That's 475-999-2726. And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Ryder.
I'm your other one. I'm Stacy Heller. Hey, everybody.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, before the break, we were talking about yet another cultural blind spot of Eric's. What I think is funny is that I love this. You take all the hits because I'm like, you haven't seen that. But there's a lot that I haven't seen either.
Well, you just said of the things that while I'm listing off perfect examples, I think, of movies that people, always say, I can't believe you haven't seen, like it's a personal affront to them. And yet you're like, haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it. Alien, haven't
seen
seen it. Jurassic Park, haven't seen it. The Shining.
Yes.
I haven't seen The Shining.
You haven't seen The Shining?
Nope. No.
I'd recommend that one.
First of all, if it is in the horror, science fiction,
it's just like me
fantasy,
with kids movies.
Yeah, if it's in those genres, you can bet your sweet bippy that I haven't seen it.
Right. But I think that's one you could handle, and I think you would enjoy.
I don't know. It seemed to really put poor Shelley Duvall through the ringer.
Well, you don't have to act the part. You can just enjoy the enjoy the fruits of that. Yes.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So before the break, we were talking about that. You're still going on your James Bond in the same way that James Bond has continued to go for years and years.
This has been one of those big cultural blind spots for me. My whole life, never watched a James Bond movie except for part of Goldfinger as a child. I remember that being on like HBO or whatever. We were over at a friend's house and seeing part of that.
People that had the money to pay for HBO.
Yeah,
My family didn't even, we didn't pay. I mean, We've talked about how you're like, I came from a modest background. I came from a less modest background. However, TV, like HBO, my parents were like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So
I still remember when we got color TV. I was a teenager.
You're like, we're not at home anymore. What is it? We're not in Kansas anymore. When the colorization happens in that movie. Okay, so how was it?
Oh, so the movie, the last one that I watched was, and I got to look up how far into the series this is, because I think we're on 6.
Well, and you're on your third Bond or your second Bond?
No, this would be, you mean the actor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, hey, folks, if you don't know, if this is a cultural blind spot for you, too, surprise, James Bond over the years from the 60s through now has been played by multiple people. So it's a fair question to ask which Bond we're on in the series.
Yes. Well, this would be the first time that another actor, aside from Sean Connery, has played the part in the official movies, because there's a whole thing where there was other movies too, where he appeared before and after they started the official series.
Right.
Yeah, number 6. Okay.
Okay.
So I've watched 6 of these things, and I'm still not sure if I like them yet. But
But
I'm giving it a chance.
You're giving you a good giggle.
I am giving it the old college try on this for sure. This may be where I get off the the ride, but
well, but I think you have to wait. All right? Before you even go on, I'm going to say you at least have to commit to watching. If you decide to get off the ride, then do like an abbreviated version of the ride and watch one from each of the other Bonds.
Maybe I'll do that. Yeah.
Because I feel like each one would bring a different flair.
Yeah. So far it's been Sean Connery through from 62 to 67. Then Connery decides to leave, and he's like, I'm done with this. I can't take it. They're following him around like he's the Beatles, but it's one guy, basically.
So much pressure.
And also they're not paying him much money, which is shocking considering he's starring in these blockbusters.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm done. I'm out of here. And so then they go to make On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which I recently watched from 1969. And they think, oh, well, we can't get like a big name actor. Let's get somebody that is an unknown, but he'll grow into the role. He'll be more committed. People will love him. He won't know from the fact that we're not paying him what he's worth.
Right. This will be perfect. He'll be with us for years.
Exactly. So they cast George Lazenby, which is he was a Australian model to play the part. And but then he only does the one movie because he never signed the contract to do multiple movies. And his friends were like, James Bond is over. It's 1969. This thing's not going to last. Go do something else. And so, he turns them down. And so there was a whole thing there. Yes.
Gone. And then Sean Connery came back for one.
He did, yeah. Diamonds Are Forever, which may be the one that I watch if it shows up on the streaming services anytime soon.
Well, there you go.
But this is really interesting because my whole life I've heard, like, oh, the George Lazenby, he was only in this one movie, as James Bond. And some people think of him as being a failure in the role, but it was really his own choice. One that he sometimes says that he regrets, and sometimes he says no regrets. So who knows?
Depends on where he is financially at the moment.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. He's an interesting guy. But the thing is, his acting in this is not great. But he'd only done like commercials before.
Yeah, and what has he done since?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. So,
very minimal.
Okay.
Yeah. I think people said, oh, well, yeah. He doesn't sign on to contracts and come back and do stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure we want to hire him to helm our blockbuster thing.
Okay.
He looks the part, and he does a pretty decent British accent, but he's not. He just doesn't quite have it yet. And I think like if he had been able to do 2-3 movies, he would have been considered one of the best.
Sure.
I think. Yeah. But having just done the one. And I got to say, these movies start to get real weird.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's honestly why Austin Powers was such a thing.
Yes.
Because they do veer into Austin Powers like weirdness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what's really weird is that, okay, so Connery leaves, they decide to kind of reboot the franchise here. But there's no real connection to the previous 6 movie or 5 movies.
It's like they're all in an echo chamber.
So, in You Only Live Twice, the previous movie, there is the supervillain Blofeld, played by Donald Pleasance. And he's stroking the kitty. He's got the scar down his eye. We talked about that.
Yep.
So, but in Her Majesty's Secret Service, they have Blofeld again. But now he's played by Telly Savalas. He doesn't have a scar. And he's running an allergy clinic on top of a mountain in Switzerland.
Stop. Is that true?
No, for real. Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
It's really bizarre. And then they have Bond go undercover, but he's already met Blofeld. So it doesn't make a lot of sense that Blofeld, even though he's played by Telly Savalas now, would not know him.
Right. Wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah. But the other thing that's funny is they have him go under as a genealogist. So he's playing like a geek, undercover geeky guy. He's like, oh, I've never been much for sports, and literally like they have him. He's a nerd, right?
Stop.
It's so funny, but then. And I think they're like the producers were maybe trying to take a dig at Connery in this. They have him like go to dinner at this allergy clinic, that hotel that he's staying at as an undercover genealogist. And they put him in a kilt. And
oh, that feels personal.
Yeah. Like Connery was Scottish.
Yeah.
Pretending to be English in all these other movies. And now they get an Australian guy to play Bond, and then they put him in a kilt pretending to be Scottish. It was
he's an English spy.
Yeah, but also his undercover persona is a total dork. So is this like a dig at Connery? Because they never had him in a kilt.
No,
he never got to pretend to be Scottish, which he was.
Right, like it wouldn't have been a stretch.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this movie, and then the other stuff that like bugs me is like the quips that he does, like Bond's little quips. When they were coming out of Connery's mouth, they were always lame. I don't know if anybody ever really enjoyed them, but in this movie, they add these quips, and they're all done after the fact with ADR. So
really?
Yeah. So they all play to complete silence, and they just like a guy gets like ground up in like a snow blower thing, basically. And, you see the blood go up, and he goes, that guy had a lot of guts. And then it's like silence, crickets, like. And another, like, he's chasing Blofeld in a bobsled, and then Blofeld gets, caught up in a tree. And so he's hanging by his neck from a tree. And you hear, he really branched out.
Oh, my God. And I have this vision of George Lazenby, right?
Yes.
Sitting in a booth, and it's like, you have the paper.
Right.
He's like, all right, George, say this one.
Yes.
Well, he's really branched out.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So it is bizarre that stuff, right? But it's also kind of cool because this whole like allergy clinic on top of this Swiss mountain is amazing looking scenery, right?
Of course.
That's all beautiful, and some of the ski stunts are pretty cool, even though. They, to cover up the fact that they're using like stuntmen and women, they're basically wearing these dorky goggles and stuff. So they look really goofy doing this amazing stuff. And you can't help but be like, What? Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And then the other thing is he actually gets married in this movie.
What?
Yeah.
For reals?
For real, yeah. He initially meets the young woman.
When he was dressed in Korean drag?
No, because again, nothing carries over.
Right.
There's no continuity. Yeah, she's the daughter of a Spanish crime boss who wants who wants his daughter to marry Bond so he can kind of tame her, basically. Yeah, but it turns out she's a super badass. So she's the best part of the movie, Diana Rigg, and she was in the British series The Avengers.
Yep.
Not to be confused with Marvel's Avengers. Yeah.
Right.
So she's fantastic in it. But there's the weird thing where he meets her, they start to hit it off, then he has to go on this mission. And then, of course, this allergy clinic is just exclusively hot ladies. So he makes his way through the hot ladies, essentially. Yes. And then
he's just doing his job, Eric.
Well, of course, yes. And then he meets back up with her, and then he does, I'll never meet anybody like you again. So will you marry me? So then they get married, and after they foiled the bad guys, and then at the end, and this is 1969. So sorry, spoilers here. She gets killed.
What? Shock!
As they're leaving the wedding, basically. He pulls off on the side of the road because there's too many flowers on the car. And then Blofeld and his henchman, his assistant, like drives by, and the assistant like just fires off at the James Bond's car. Yeah. And so then she's shot. And then there's this really weird thing where he's like, she's just having a nap. She's okay. We have all the time in the world. And
you're like a cross between Bond and Mr. Ed, by the way.
Yeah, they didn't want him to cry in the movie, basically. So he just does that little speech and then looks sad. And it's so weird because it's like, well, is she dead? Is she not dead? Because he's just
having
like,
a nap?
Yeah.
Like they couldn't fix her?
Right. No, so it's weird. But
when was Kennedy assassinated?
66, something like that?
This feels like a pickup from like a Kennedy assassination. Like I bet they were in a convertible.
Yeah, no, they weren't in a convertible.
Oh, they weren't in a convertible?
No. 63 for JFK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because I was thinking, like, I had this vision of them, like, driving through the streets of Monaco, but I may be thinking of literal Princess Grace dying in a car.
Yeah.
So many people, so many deaths. It's so sad.
But I'll say this. One of the more coherent James Bond stories, and the, like I said, the scenery, not screenery. I'm inventing new words here.
I like this.
The scenery is beautiful. And so it's got a lot going for it, but the stuff where they tried to make it funny is like, really cringy. Yeah, like for instance, where something happens to him and he goes, "This never happened to the other guy." You know, it's like,
right.
We don't need that. Because we don't have like Telly Savalas going, "Remember when I had that scar? Wink, wink." You know what I mean? It's just so weird.
Next time you see me, I'll have a lollipop.
Yeah, exactly. It's so weird. And there's this whole thing, too, about like how the actual guy that Blofeld is impersonating is supposed to not have earlobes. So then they figure out, he had a surgery where his earlobes were removed. It's like, what?
What? That's so weird.
It is, yes.
Like, and there's so much unnecessary, like, detail and weirdness.
Yes. And then the score also is like, it's beautiful, but it's so, like, languid and slow and stuff. And they don't even play the James Bond theme until finally they have this climactic thing where, the helicopters, come in and they invade the allergy clinic. And so then it finally kicks in, but I'm like, we're like 2 hours into this movie before you hear dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's like, ooh, yeah.
Wow.
And it was funny because we talked about in the past how they didn't know when to use it. Like they'd show them just walking through the airport doing paperwork.
Yeah, they would like so now they're getting better.
They finally
at making
figured
it a
out,
signature thing.
Have it come in when the action starts. But there's lots of action before this part where it's just like, it's so
So what's number
strange.
7 in the list? I might have to try to watch this.
So that would be Diamonds Are Forever.
All right. I might have to try to watch Diamonds Are Forever so that I can chat about it with you.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So anyway, it's a mixed bag, but I think if you're a Bond fan, then it's worth watching. If you avoided this one the whole time because you think, well, it's got the one-off Bond, it's not really part of the canon. None of them are part of the canon. None of them relate to each other.
They're all like single standing. There are no townhouses. It's not a community.
No.
It is a mixed neighborhood.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So it's worth, I think there's enough there for Bond fans to enjoy it.
Well,
for a person that's not a Bond fan, don't start with that one.
I would also say if you're a Bond fan, explain yourself. Like, I'm just going to say, explain yourself. Reach out to us. You can totally give us a call. Remember, 475-999-2726.
Yeah.
Call. Explain. What's your favorite Bond movie?
Or asking at don'taskmetotalk.com.
Yeah, like I want to know.
Yeah.
I
This is going to be
more.
whiplash, by the way, when we watch Diamonds Are Forever.
Well, yeah, right?
Because Sean Connery is back. Yeah.
Well, see, I won't know about
I think
the whole...
Blofeld might be back, too.
Oh, my gosh. He's like... he's the like a cockroach. He just keeps coming back.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Well, the movies that I watched on the plane were not nearly as exciting. I watched Conclave, which as a Catholic or a
this is one set in
Catholic,
the Vatican.
yes, or a recovering Catholic, or somebody who's just curious about the process or whatever. It is it's kind of the story of the Pope dies and everything that happens. And I didn't do the research.
Not to be confused with the Two Popes. That's on Netflix, by the way.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is like truly set, like the Pope dies and now they need to come together, all the cardinals, to pick who the next Pope is going to be. And it is a twist that I didn't expect. And I am curious.
Ray Fiennes stars in this,
who is
along
fine.
with Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci, who's just fabulous. And
John Lithgow. Yeah.
Who, like, that's sort of out of nowhere. I was like, John Lithgow. So,
and because it's set at the Vatican, it's a total sausage party.
Well, hey, Isabella Rossellini
they
is in it.
shoehorned one nun in there, so it wouldn't be all dudes the whole time.
No, there was a whole bunch of nuns that were there.
Okay.
And they're there to be
But she's the only
supportive.
name person
She's the
that they
only
put
name,
in. Yeah,
yes.
Isabella Rossellini, who I adore.
She's just, So it was really good. And I do have to say, I have to do a little research to find out if the process that they go through, if that is in fact the process or if they just made this up.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it is the process, it's fascinating. And there is a lot of, like, I know you're surprised, politics in the church, what? But it was really interesting to see the whole thing.
I may have to check this out.
I think you're going to have to.
Yeah, because I've heard it is good, and it is available on one of my streaming services right now. So
Then it's like it's free.
yeah, exactly. So I'd have to check it out.
All right. Do we have to take another break?
I think we do.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about old people habits, which ones we have. We can't help it. We're getting old. Hey, I'm Stacy Heller. I'm one of your podcast pals, along with Eric Ryder from Don't Ask Me to Talk. Are you liking what you're listening to? Awesome. We would love if you would follow us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram as Don't Ask Me to Talk. We also are wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can follow us, subscribe, like, rate, whatever it is that you do. You can also email us. That's asking@don'taskmetotalk.com. And if you'd like, text or leave us a voicemail at 475-999-2726. Basically, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.
And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm Eric Ryder.
I'm Stacy Heller.
Uh-oh.
Okay, no. I'm Stacy Heller. Hey, we're talking about old people habits. So you always ask, do you want to ask or do you want me to just assume that you were going to ask?
Well, it is my habit to ask you what inspired this to be added to the Wheel O Topics.
So,
since you are the guardian of the topics.
I am the guardian of the topics. So around the holidays, when the whole family gets together, I find that family tends to regress into their roles, right? So whether it's like you're the oldest or you're the parent or whatever you are, like even if I go home to see my family of origin, it's like, oh, Stacy's acting like the way that she was in our family, whatever. But the kids were commenting on, like, I don't know, I was saying something about getting old. And, they're like, well, yeah, you're starting to do this, which is something that my mom does, or something that it's like an old person habit. And I was like, rude. But there are things that 100% I'm like, oh, like taking your pills at night with a glass of water, which like suddenly now there's a lot more pills and supplements and vitamins and stuff in my life than there used to be. And like right there, it was like, oh, and waking up.
But do you have one of those plastic containers with the names of the days of the week on it?
I have no comment on this. I have something that's much cuter than that. But basically, for all intents and purposes, it is 100% that.
I mean, they're popular for a reason.
But I have like a whole like Lazy Susan bowl spinny thing with all the bottles with all the things. It's pretty exciting. I made it sexy. And then like waking up in the middle of the night to use the restroom and like, and getting out of bed and needing to sit on the side of my mom gave me this tip. Like when you get up in the morning and she's got vertigo. So she's like, I always just sit on the side of the bed for a minute and sort of get my bearings. And so then I like walk into the bathroom in the middle of the night and my ankles are like, so it's just some things that make me feel old. So I was like, all right, so what are some old people habits that we're already starting to do?
Yeah.
Which brings me back to, how's your oatmeal going?
Yes, well,
and what's the thing that happened?
I feel like I built this up to be something big, but basically the only thing that happened is, and I think these two old people try to save money here.
Gotta save those nickels.
And having the oatmeal itself. But at the grocery store I go to, they have a nice bulk section. My whole life I've kind of avoided the bulk section for some reason. But this one has a really nice bulk section where they have a whole bunch of good stuff, like cereal and
granola,
dried fruits and all kinds of stuff.
So old
sold by the pound. Yeah, I know. Like I said, we're right into the old people habits.
Yeah.
These are new ones that I'm starting.
Okay.
So they have the bags up that you can put the stuff that you get out of the barrels or the drop-down containers. And people will often take 2 or 3 bags and then go, oh, I don't need 3 bags. And so they just lay one down on top of one of these containers, right?
Yeah.
And I sometimes think, oh, okay, well, I'll just use that bag, save it from being thrown in the garbage, save the store from having to clean it up. It looks fine. So last time I was at the store and they had the bulk oatmeal for cheaper than you can buy it in the container. And I thought, I'll stock up. So
which again is an old person habit right there.
There you go.
I'll stock up.
I see. Well, because I used the 10-year-old
That's what I'm saying.
oatmeal up that I had in the cabinet. So
I think I'll stock up.
I got to get some more, right?
My Irish Spring deodorant soap is on sale. I think I'll stock up.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the way to do it. You got to save money. In this economy? Are you kidding me?
I know. All right. So go on.
So I see that someone has just left a bag carelessly on top of a container there. And I think to myself, save this from being thrown in the trash. You save the store, the personnel from having to deal with this. Grab that bag, go and the oatmeal is in a big tube, basically. So it just pours out rather than you scoop it, right? So I put the bag underneath the oatmeal tube, push the button, a whole bunch of oatmeal comes out. There's a huge hole in the side of this bag that I picked up.
You can't stop it.
It goes shh. So oatmeal goes
you're that guy
on top of all the buckets, that are below the big tube of oatmeal. And I go, oh my goodness. So now I'm faced with a dilemma here. Do I do I clean
Clean
this
up in
up?
aisle 5.
Right. Do I just leave it and go? And I was never here. Like just leave the store.
Get your oatmeal and run.
Yes. How do I clean this up? It was a whole thing. So I ended up like grabbing a scooper and then a new bag and then trying to put as much of that, not from the floor, but from the top of the bucket into a new bag. And and so it was still a mess, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as it could have been if I was a completely careless person.
You are a good citizen, because I would have been like, I am not eating that oatmeal that has been now out on top of the dusty old bins and like whatever. I'm getting some fresh oatmeal.
If oatmeal didn't require you to boil it when you're making it, I might have said, okay, bye. Not my fault.
Right. Step away from the oatmeal.
If those buckets didn't look like they were cleaned like on a daily basis, at least the lids looked like they're cleaned pretty thoroughly, then I might have said, okay, this is rat food, bye. But in this case, I just thought, well, the decent thing to do here is to clean this up. So I did the best I could. And I still felt bad.
I hate when stuff like that happens, and it's like, oh, I'm trying to do a good thing here.
Yes.
That's the worst. All right, so I won't give you too hard of a time for that. Are there
so
any...
double check if you're picking up a bag that someone else has left.
Right. Because
double
I'll tell
check
you what,
the integrity of that bag.
you were trying to be the hero, but you quickly went to zero.
That's right.
So are there any other habits besides your oatmeal eating, your saving and stocking up?
Oh, I'm sure I have a lot of them. But I'm just thinking now that I'm so grateful that there wasn't some TikToker or something that was had that camera up when I was getting the oatmeal, because it would have definitely been a viral oatmeal fail.
Oh, my gosh.
Look at old man deal with an oatmeal spray. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I mean, now, you won't get this so much, but I think that women listeners, or anyone, honestly, that carries a bag, a handbag, a purse, a merce, a satchel, whatever you want to call it. I've started that thing where I now have bags in my bags. Like, it used to be my keys, my phone, my wallet.
Yeah.
I'm done. Now it's like, here's my bag where I have, like, my cosmetic stuff, and here's the bag where I keep this, and now and I don't remember what any of the bags are.
Right.
I'm like, I'm going to get a straight bag, and I'm going to know that the straight bag is for my cosmetics, and I'm going to know that the solid bag is for, like, my electronics, my headphones.
Do you mean when you're traveling?
I mean in life.
Oh, okay.
Like, yes, especially when traveling, but, like, even in life, I have, like, the smallest bag, and I still have, like, a bag in the bag, and I still can't find my keys anywhere. Like, I can't figure out what the bags are and what was this bag supposed to mean. I don't remember anything. And then passwords. Like,
are we talking like Ziplocs?
No, well, I mean, it could be a Ziploc, but no, like, wait, let me see if I can show you what I mean. I have my bag.
Uh-huh.
And in my bag, I have...
You just pulled out a
smaller
bag out of your big bag.
And I have a little bag with my pills. I have another bag that has my headphones in it and a charging cord. Then I have this bag.
Your wallet.
Yeah. Then I have a bag that I normally have my passport in because I haven't unpacked this yet. Like, I have in this bag that is like a little, like, crossbody bag, like 5 bags.
That's a lot of bags.
It's a lot of bags. So when you become older, you become a bag lady.
Okay.
All right. This has got me riled up.
Interesting.
I'm going to throw out my hip or something. All right. Do we even have time to talk about anything else?
We got about 2 minutes left here. So we got to keep it quick, and then we got to pick our topic for next week. I was just going to say that I think I've been an old man my whole life, it seems like. And as I think back on even this episode of the things that I discussed, watching Apollo 13, watching the James Bond movie from 1969, I am fully embracing being middle-aged and beyond. I can't help it. But the thing that I recently was thinking about how much commercials are annoying, but I used to love a lot of them as a kid. Like some of the stuff, like the Noid, for instance, the Domino's avoid the Noid commercials. I used to love that as a kid. But then it just seemed like for a long time, like commercials trying to be funny are super stupid and annoying. The Progressive Insurance commercials where it's about the guy who...
Mayhem?
No. It's about the guy who wrote a book about how young homeowners are becoming their parents, right?
Yes.
So this series of commercials, I find these really funny. They're actually really well observed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just say that. And I can't help but wonder, is it because I'm getting old that I think these commercials are funny, or are they actually funny? I don't know.
I think it's both. I think it's because at a certain point you're like, well, I got it. If you can't beat them, I might as well join them, and it's kind of funny.
There you go.
Yeah.
But those are good.
All right. Well, you know what? It's not easy getting old. It is not for the faint of heart. I'll say that.
It is not.
All right. What's our topic?
Okay, and then, so I think we've talked about this, and I think it's come up before, but just the juxtaposition of epitaph being our topic after this really makes me laugh.
All right.
And I'm just going to spin until we get something that we haven't done. Okay, here we are. That extra fanfare, I think, is appropriate for this topic of hero or sidekick.
Oh, okay. All right. So basically, which do you prefer? And which ones do you like? It's a two-sided.
Yeah.
All right.
Something to think about over the week.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to Don't Ask Me to Talk.
We'll be back next time.